for Dillon Gabriel for this Cleveland Browns team. The game ends 21-17, and you honestly have to give Carson Wentz a ton of credit there at the end of the game. He throws a beautiful pass to Justin Jefferson. I feel like Jefferson is one of the receivers, one of the only receivers that makes that type of catch. And then the throw to Addison to put the Vikings up by 4 in this game. Incredible finish by the Minnesota Vikings. And this was a game where near the end of the third quarter, after Dillon Gabriel throws that pretty touchdown pass to Njoku, and the Browns are up by, I think it was, 4? I believe it was 4 at the time or around there. At that point, I was thinking to myself, it feels like the Browns may actually win this game just because their defense is so good. And it may be that, Gabriel did enough at that point to give the Browns a victory. But unfortunately for the Browns, the fourth quarter, they punted 4 different times. They couldn't get anything going. And then on the final drive, where the Browns just needed one defensive stop to give Dillon Gabriel his 1-0 start for his career, they were unable to stop the Vikings and their offense. And so it's an unfortunate way for the game to end for the Browns, because I honestly thought that Dillon Gabriel, in his first start as a rookie, third rounder, the fact that he was facing off against the Vikings defense, who came into this game top 10 defense in scoring, 9th best scoring defense in the NFL, coached by Brian Flores. And the fact that Gabriel was playing pretty clean football all day, I think that it was a very promising start, very promising first start for Gabriel. And now it's unfortunate for him. He didn't get the win. It felt like maybe there was a chance that was going to take place. But I think that if you're the Browns, you have to be satisfied with what you saw from Gabriel. And there's no doubt that the Browns' plan was not to make Gabriel do too much, especially against this kind of defense. It was a lot of getting the ball out quickly, a lot of short passes. And now there were a few passes here or there where Gabriel made some really nice throws. He finished the day 19 of 33, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks, a 94.3 passer rating. And when you compare that to what Joe Flacco did this season up to this point, he had 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in the games that he had played. And so Gabriel already matches Joe Flacco's touchdowns in his first career start. And so I would say overall, I'll give this a B-plus performance for Gabriel, just because of the team he's playing. It's his first start. He didn't really play sloppy football. There was maybe one pass that could have been intercepted by the Vikings. They sort of dropped one pass. But outside of that, when Gabriel was missing, he wasn't putting the ball in harm's way. And I feel like that's the way you want to operate if you're the Cleveland Browns. When you have a defense of their caliber, when you have a defense that can affect the pass rusher or affect the quarterback so frequently, you just need someone who can play clean football. And that's what Dillon Gabriel did today. And unfortunately, it wasn't enough. But I think that looking ahead for the Browns, if Gabriel can continue to develop and grow, I think that they may have a formula to beat some teams in the NFL. Now, do I think it's all going to come together this season? No, but it's a promising first start. And honestly, one of the players that deserves a ton of credit in this game is Judkins, who had 23 carries, 110 yards. He was playing incredible football, and he honestly looked like a top 10 running back out there. The Browns' offensive line was opening up a ton of holes. He finished the day 110 yards, 4.8 yards per carry, and the running game was working really well. And it honestly wasn't until the fourth quarter where the Browns' offense stalled. If they just would have had maybe one drive where they are able to have, a field goal drive or a touchdown drive there in the end, they probably win this game. So you do have to give props to the Vikings in the end for holding up enough to allow the Vikings to have one final chance there at the end, where Carson Wentz comes in and delivers a few really perfect passes to Justin Jefferson, to Jordan Addison to win this game. And you could tell all day long the Vikings offensive plan, it was very similar to the Browns, where it was like a lot of quick passes, a lot of short passes, not a lot of, deep passes down the field. And when you're, Carson Wentz and you're facing off against that Browns pass rush, you could tell that Kevin O'Connell did not want Wentz holding the ball that long back there. And the announcers mentioned it. One of the first times he gets sacked. And so it was a pretty solid game plan by the Vikings. And the Vikings are a very good team in one-score games. And once again, they're able to do it. And so I think that, you have to give the Vikings a lot of credit. And they honestly, if the Vikings would have lost this game, one of the reasons would have been a lot of mistakes, 2 fumbles by the Vikings, a missed field goal. And so if it wasn't for some of those mistakes, I think this would have been a more lopsided game. But all in all, as I said earlier, promising start for Gabriel. And I'm interested to see what he can do going forward. And as he gains more confidence, I think that the Browns will win some games. They'll win some games with Gabriel. He's much better than Joe Flacco. And I think it partly makes sense that you want Flacco out there the first 4 games against some of the better teams in the NFL. What is up, God of Thunder? Appreciate you stopping in. But those are mainly my thoughts there on that game. I'm going to end this so I can go start watching the rest of the NFL games about to start. I just want to give my quick thoughts. And if you want more NFL content, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I'll be out with more thoughts throughout the week, probably more live streams as well. What is up, Rachel? You say, will you ever get a mustache or going clean for life? You know, I don't know if I'm a mustache type of guy, personally. American Whale, what's up? How are you? I'm doing great. Great watching football right now. About to have to turn this off. It's almost noon, which means time to check in on my fantasy team and check in on the rest of these games that are about to start. I had the Browns defense in this game, and it was fine. They got me 7 points. You know, have a good day. Thank you. Hope you guys have a good day too. How old am I? 28 years old. And if you want to hear, if you guys just stopped in, I gave my thoughts on this in the beginning. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. I'm going to go watch the rest of the games. So see you guys next time.